The One Punch Man universe is full of weird and vibrant characters, but Saitama stands out as the center of it all, as the legendary hero that can defeat anyone with just one punch. But what if Saitama didn't fight on the side of justice? In today's video, we'll explore what would happen if Saitama, with all of his powers and abilities, was actually evil. First, let's establish just how ridiculously powerful Saitama truly is. After saving a kid from the monster Creblante, Saitama began training to be a hero, with a simple routine of 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and running 10 kilometers daily for about a year. Now, as you may have realized, this routine isn't even that intense, and what actually happened was that Saitama broke through his limiter. The limiter is a concept in One Punch Man that says every living being has a natural boundary to how strong it can grow no matter how hard they train. Saitama is the only character we know of that has completely removed his limiter, and we see the consequences of that in his early battles. Just a few episodes into the series, the Deep Sea King terrorized City J. This demon-level threat effortlessly beat Puri Puri Prisoner and tore Genos apart, showing he was well above the strength of regular S-class heroes. When Saitama arrived, the Deep Sea King landed what he thought was a devastating punch directly to Saitama's face, but Saitama didn't even flinch. With a single casual punch, Saitama not only obliterated the Deep Sea King, but delivered so much force that it blew away all the storm clouds in the area. But the Deep Sea King was nothing compared to Lord Boros, the self-proclaimed dominator of the universe. Boros was a threat even above dragon level, and had traveled across the cosmos searching for a worthy opponent. This alien conqueror possessed regeneration so powerful he could regrow limbs instantly, and his strength was enough to level entire cities. In their fight, Boros kicked Saitama so hard he sent him flying to the moon, and this showed us an interesting aspect of Saitama's powers, as it showed he can survive even in the cold vacuum of space. Saitama crashed into the lunar surface, creating a massive crater, and then simply jumped back to Earth in seconds. Throughout their fight, Boros unleashed everything he had, but Saitama was unfazed. Finally, desperate to end it, Boros used his ultimate attack, the collapsing star roaring cannon, an energy beam designed to destroy entire planets. But Saitama countered it with his serious punch, deflecting the planet-destroying beam and overwhelming Boros' healing factor. But even Boros pales in comparison to what Saitama demonstrated in the Monster Association arc, specifically during his fight with Cosmic Fear Mode Garou. Garou had received power from a mysterious cosmic entity called God, and became a reality-warping threat capable of copying and perfectly replicating any technique he saw, including Saitama's own power. The two engaged in a battle that took them across Earth's surface and eventually into space. During this fight, we see Saitama going all out, as Garou is actually capable of taking some hits from him. Saitama demonstrates some crazy abilities like the serious table flip, where he grabbed an entire section of Io, one of Jupiter's moons, and flipped it like a table to attack Garou. On the cold surface of Io, Saitama sneezed so powerfully that it blew away half of Jupiter's gas, exposing the planet's core. When Garou killed Genos, Saitama's rage grew so intense that he learned Garou's time travel technique instantly, and used it to travel backward in time and prevent the tragedy. But most terrifying of all, during this fight, Garou's ability to copy Saitama revealed something horrifying. Saitama's power was growing exponentially with each moment of the battle. Garou could copy Saitama's power and grow stronger, but by the time he copied it, Saitama had already far surpassed that level. And this is the beginning of Saitama's villain origin story, because despite all his power, Saitama faces an existential crisis. He's become so overwhelmingly powerful that nothing provides him a thrill anymore. Even Garou, who pushed him further than anyone else, was ultimately just another opponent who couldn't satisfy Saitama's desire for a real challenge. Now here's where the theory gets dark. Imagine if Saitama's existential crisis deepens. The inability to feel excitement isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's slow, psychological torture for someone who only wanted to be a hero for fun. All the reasons for his emptiness to turn into something sinister are already right there. Think about it. The Hero Association constantly disrespects him, even naming him the Caped Baldy. The public doesn't recognize his achievements, and most heroes doubt his strength. What if Saitama realizes that being a hero brings him nothing but disappointment in exchange for all of the thankless work? The trigger for him turning evil could be a failure of the Hero Association. Maybe Genos dies permanently, and Saitama blames the Hero Association for sending them into danger. So what would evil Saitama actually do? Well, he'd still be searching for a new fight, and now he has a new set of powerful fighters to challenge, the S-Class heroes. Saitama searches for that temporary thrill he got in the fight against Garou by challenging members of the Hero Association. Now, we already know that Bang can't put up half a decent fight against Saitama, and he'll still push the S-Class heroes to their limit without quite finishing them off, hoping that one of them will break their limiter. The battle against Zombie Man would be particularly brutal, as Saitama would test his healing factor without ever finishing him off entirely. Tatsumaki's psychic powers might seem like a good counter to Saitama's overwhelming strength, but we already know that he's strong enough to just shrug off its effects. Life is even more hopeless for the cyborgs like Metal Knight and Drive Knight, as they only have regular weapons to try and stop Saitama. Furthermore, since cybernetic abilities aren't even held back by a limiter, Saitama would just dismantle them, only sparing Genos out of consideration for his old student. Blast, the #1 hero, would be humanity's last hope. We know Blast has reality warping abilities and can manipulate space-time. He could try to trap Saitama in another dimension, or perhaps reverse time to prevent him from turning evil. But here's the problem. Saitama has already demonstrated the ability to time travel and resist reality manipulation. He can grab portals and wormholes as if they're physical constructs, and use punches to break through the fabric of space-time, meaning that not even Blast can counter his strength. Blast might delay the evil Saitama, and might even land a hit that he actually feels, but that would only make him more excited and more dangerous. Blast would be overwhelmed eventually, and the #1 hero would fall. Now, it's almost guaranteed that evil Saitama wouldn't just kill randomly, as he has no interest in hurting civilians. He'd hunt down anyone who claimed to be strong, desperately seeking that one opponent who could make him feel something again. From the Hero Association, he'd move on to the Neo-Heroes, systematically dismantling rising stars like Suiryu or Excel. But the problem is that these battles wouldn't be without collateral damage. Saitama was already under fire for not caring about his surroundings while fighting. Now it's 10 times worse. Entire cities get destroyed from the force of Saitama's punches as the heroes try to contain him and inevitably fail. You can imagine Saitama letting out his frustration by testing his power on his surroundings. This is not about a couple of buildings. He'd casually destroy mountains, evaporate seas, and possibly even punch through the Earth's crust just to see if he can feel anything. Now, here's where things get really intense. Saitama gets to have a rematch with Garou. Naturally, Garou no longer has his cosmic abilities as he lost them when he was defeated by Saitama, but there's another aspect to Garou's potential. You see, Garou has already partially broken through his limiter, which means that he's the closest to actually achieving what Saitama wants from an adversary. This means Garou, the hero hunter, might actually become humanity's desperate hope. Imagine the irony. The man who wanted to become absolute evil would become an actual hero by challenging humanity's greatest threat. Even as a regular martial artist, Garou had a tremendous capacity to evolve mid-battle and copy techniques, meaning that he might still be able to theoretically adapt to fight Saitama. When Garou takes on Saitama, we see one massive, catastrophic battle with all the heroes still standing joining in the fight. This time, Garou has something to prove. He wants to get revenge for his defeat and surpass Saitama, who has practically become a monster himself. Garou would throw everything he has, while heroes like Blast, Tatsumaki, and Child Emperor return for support. For a moment, he might even make Saitama work for it, forcing him to get slightly serious. But let's be real, evil Saitama would absolutely crush him regardless. The key difference now is that Saitama was holding back in the original story. He was pretty casual regarding Garou, and even assured others that he wouldn't kill the hero hunter. But in his new evil state, Saitama has no such considerations. He tries Psycho's method of breaking a limiter by pushing Garou as close to the brink of death as possible without quite finishing him off. But this time, Saitama's accuracy is off, and Garou doesn't survive his devastating serious punches. As Garou dies, his passing would symbolize the death of hope itself. The monsters who were believed to have broken their limiters, like Orochi and Phoenix Man, are no longer alive or have been downgraded from their most powerful forms. The S-Class heroes would make one desperate last stand, but we all know how it'll go. Atomic Samurai's slashes, Bang's martial arts, and Flashy Flash's speed all focus on one target, but fail to do any damage. The only way Saitama is stopped is if God himself intervenes, choosing a hero to grant his powers just to see Saitama being pushed to his limits. But without that, there's no stopping evil Saitama, and the world falls into chaos as Saitama tries to overcome his boredom. But what do you think? Could anyone stop evil Saitama? Let us know your theories in the comments down below.